We are back here on SportsLine. We're talking about the AFC teams in that first segment and the fact that there are only 6 teams right now that have a winning record, and those would be your 6 playoff teams if the season ended today. The Buffalo Bills are one of those teams, and they are insane. And here's why. Because today, they benched their starting quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, because apparently losing 47-3 to the Saints and getting absolutely run over on defense is his fault. Apparently he was supposed to tackle people too. They bench him when, in my opinion, and I think other people's opinion, he's been kind of the reason that they've won 5 games and are in the position they're in right now. And they're replacing him with Nathan Peterman. Vol fans, you remember him, right? He was at Tennessee. He started a game at Florida. Looked about as out of place in the swamp playing for Tennessee against that Gators defense, which was stout at the time, as any quarterback we've ever seen. He just looked overwhelmed. Now, granted, he grew up. He obviously transferred, had a stellar finish to his career at Pittsburgh. He beat Clemson last year in Death Valley, and Clemson went on to win the national championship. So he certainly had some moments. He's grown up, and now he's in the NFL. But he's a rookie quarterback in Buffalo who hasn't done anything yet. And Tyrod Taylor is the reason the Bills are in that position. And I've heard some people say, well, how are you ever going to know if you know what Taylor can be, and he's probably not coming back after this year? That's probably true. Why wouldn't you give Peterman a chance and figure out who he is at this point? And the response to that is easy. Because you're in a playoff hunt. If you're out of it, okay, I'll listen to that. But right now, you're the final team in the playoff picture in the AFC. You got to play until you can get there. When was the last time Buffalo was in the playoffs? How much do the people in upstate New York want a playoff appearance? I would imagine it's about as bad as people in mid-state Tennessee would love to see the Titans back in the playoffs. How do you bench your starting quarterback in the middle of a playoff run with 7 games left? I don't get it. I think Sean McDermott's making a huge mistake. He's trying to stamp his thing on this. I think it's clear Tyrod Taylor isn't his guy, and that's fine. You can make that decision afterwards, after the year's over. But I think if he's trying to figure out if Nathan Peterman is his guy, he's got to be real careful. Because within that locker room, there's 53 guys in there, and this is their team. You may be trying to build your program, so to speak, as a head coach. But for the 53 guys in that locker room, this is their team and their season. And as you hear all the time, paychecks aren't guaranteed in the NFL. So there isn't technically a guy in there who's guaranteed to be back with you next year, Sean McDermott. And so right now, they've battled themselves into a position to be fighting for a playoff berth in the AFC. They currently hold on to one past the midway point of the season. And you're taking out a quarterback who, in most people's opinion, is their best chance to win football games. And by the way, that offensive line is dreadful. It is one of the worst offensive lines in the league. One of the great strengths of Tyrod Taylor is his mobility and the opportunity he has to avoid some of that pressure that he is inevitably going to face day in and day out. Mobility is not Nathan Peterman's strength. So if you want to see what you've got from this rookie, you really want to put him in behind that offensive line right now? I think this is a risky move for Sean McDermott to lose his team, the veterans on that team that haven't had a whole lot of success. And here they are in the midst of a playoff push, and you're going to make a decision right now to sit Tyrod Taylor down and go with a rookie in Nathan Peterman. I don't like it. You can call up, chat with us about that. We can chat about the Titans and Steelers tomorrow night. We'll get to more on that coming up here in just a couple seconds. Hockey, college football, what's going on in Tennessee and Rocky Top. We'll get to all that here in the next few minutes for sure. And don't forget Rick Berg coming up at 8:45 as well. Phone lines open, 737-7767. We go back to the phones. Tony, thanks for the call. You're next up here on SportsLine.
Okay, thanks, Steve, for taking the call. Now, there's 3 questions I want to ask you, and one of them you didn't completely answer last week. The Titans shaving points again. You see how close the game was. They could have blown it out, and it started backing off, playing conservative. To make the points be the same amount as in the newspaper, somebody could win off of. And somebody needs to start checking with them Titans, because something is definitely going on in that area. And number 2, what's wrong with Strong being that just left Texas? What's wrong with him being the coach of UT? This other guy you keep talking about, Kelly, he done been all over the world. But
Sure.
Strong ain't been everywhere. They should give him a chance. He one time the job done it first. And number 3, them Titans is going to get hurt in Pittsburgh if they don't offer that boy protection, Mariota, because that's why you got James Harrison there waiting on him, grinding his teeth like he did Vince Young. He's in trouble.
Yeah, I do think the offensive line has to play better than it has at times this year, Tony. There's no question. For the Titans to take the next step, that offensive line has to be better in the running game. And they've been good in the pass protection up until last weekend. The Bengals got some pressure on them. But I think it starts with the running game, because you get defenses on their heels then if you can pound downhill on them. And that's where the Titans' play-action passing game is at its best. Charlie Strong's an interesting candidate. I think the biggest reason why he probably wouldn't move is he just took the job at South Florida. He's done a great job there. They're a top 25 caliber team there right now. But I also think what Tennessee saw of Charlie Strong at Texas, and not managing the expectations and not managing the boosters and some of the things there, the criticisms that went along with that, probably hurts him at a place like Tennessee, where all of that is a factor as well again. Chip Kelly, I don't think, is a candidate at Tennessee. If I wasn't clear earlier, that was a question about him at Florida. And I think there is some real connection right now between Florida going for Chip Kelly and Chip Kelly being interested in the Florida job. So we'll see how that plays out. And in terms of shaving points, I haven't seen anything, and you're really the only person to bring it up that makes a real connection to the line. So I haven't paid enough attention to the actual line and where scores finished to know if anything's really swayed where dollars would change hands or anything, which is the only way point shaving is actually a thing, is if you actually fix the outcome of the game. I think what the biggest thing is, and I know what you're talking about last week against the Bengals, Sharp Matthews drops a touchdown pass in the first half. Corey Davis fumbles the ball through the end zone. Those are plays that are unfortunate and turn that into a game when the Titans really could have put it away. So that's rough. But to me, those are just mistakes. Those are guys trying to make plays, or trying to do 2 things at once. Maybe Rashard Matthews was already thinking about celebrating on his ball. But to me, that's just not executing. I don't think there's anything malicious going on there.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Appreciate
You bet.
it.
Thanks for the call, Tony. And we'll see. I mean, maybe this will become a theme. Maybe we can check it out over spreads before. But honestly, until you brought it up a week ago, I hadn't even heard anybody mention it before. And obviously there were some interesting plays in last weekend's game. But again, I don't know. I can't imagine NFL players. I just can't imagine NFL players with what they're paid and all of that doing something like that. So I'm going to choose to believe that it's all on the up and up there. All right, let's get into some talk about what's going on with this team. And I think one thing that should be pointed out is how healthy the Titans are going into Pittsburgh tomorrow night. Everybody participated yesterday at practice, which is huge on a short week, especially for a Titans team that has battled injuries all year long, all of the hamstrings and some shoulder injuries and things like that. To have everybody available this week for arguably what's the biggest game of the season so far is absolutely massive. And I think it also should be commended. Some of the veterans that have battled and battle just to get on the field every week, where they're not practicing during the course of the week, but they figure out a way to show up on Sunday and give you their best. Here's John Burton now with our locker room report from Sunday on 3 particular Titans that battled through injuries and gutted out really gutsy, productive performances to help the Titans win their 4th straight game.
It's week 10 in the NFL. If you're playing hurt. That's certainly the case for 3 Titans veterans who played a big role in Sunday's win over the Bengals. Linebacker Derek Morgan missed practice last Wednesday with a sore knee, but he gritted his teeth, suited up, and recovered 2 Andy Dalton fumbles.
It's just part of the game. Playing hurt, everybody's hurt. Nobody feels good at this time of the year, so it's just part of the game.
Running back DeMarco Murray has been battling hamstring and shoulder injuries all season, but the Titans' workhorse produced 82 yards of total offense and scored 3 touchdowns, including the game winner with 36 seconds left.
We've been in this position before, so you just got to, rub a little dirt on it, tape it up, and get ready to go and fight for your teammates. So try to get the win. So I think for us, it's just, it's all about, just effort and just wanting to get out there and help the team out.
And then there was Delanie Walker. The Pro Bowl tight end barely practiced all week with a sore ankle, but he made 2 key catches on the Titans' game-winning drive and courageously returned to the field after taking a big hit from Cincy's George Ialoka in the end zone.
I think it's just a want to. You come out here on Sunday, it's a whole different feel. I don't feel as bad as I do during the week when I come out here on Sunday, and I want to play.
It's very inspiring to see Delanie. He's been in it for a long time, and his body is definitely beat up, but to continue to come out here and do what he does, on a weekly basis is definitely inspiring.
3 veterans, 3 gutsy efforts, 3 leaders who are setting the tone for the Titans' playoff push. And the younger players have taken notice.
It just shows, what they're capable of and the trust that everybody has. And then we know that they're not taking not practicing because they don't want to or whatever it may be. We know on Sunday they're going to show up. So that's the great thing about it.
Back with Jonathan Hutton now here at the Smart Screen as we go inside the film on this one. And for a 2nd straight week with the chips down in the 4th quarter, Marcus Mariota comes up with the goods. This time a 73-yard touchdown drive, already the 7th go-ahead TD march in the 4th quarter or overtime in his young career.
Just poised on this final drive, Steve, and comfortable with the game on the line. Marcus Mariota made the right decisions here. A big gain, 20-yard gain to Delanie Walker. Perfect throw into tight coverage, a nice route by Delanie Walker. Later, 2nd down and 2, he picks up 7 yards using his legs, and most importantly, no notice of the hamstring injury. And then throw to the outside. DeMarco Murray makes Fedulum and Denard miss on a great opportunity to get in the end zone. Strong play.
A strong drive indeed. We also saw an expanded role on offense today for Adoree Jackson as the rookie had 3 carries for 30 yards. But Hutton, he's also become a valuable decoy.
He likes to call himself the hot sauce for this team, and that's what he's been on offense. He's playing decoy here. Marcus Mariota goes for 28 yards on the game's opening drive for offense. And
same formation.
Same formation. Again, Adoree to the boundary. This time, Mariota gets him the football. He has a big gain down the boundary. And also, a play that we saw last week, it works again. Great block by Murray and a 20-yard gain for Adoree Jackson. And don't forget, he was also used as a decoy on the touchdown, the would-be touchdown pass to Rashard Matthews that was dropped. That was 7 points off the board right there that Adoree played a factor in.
Nice little wrinkle to the package at this point of the season. The Titans showed some toughness with their late rally. Adoree Jackson playing both sides of the football. And their sideline reporter also showed some toughness. Look at our guy Hutton on the sideline here, getting a heavy dose of contact from Delanie Walker.
This is brutal. This is the 3rd time I've seen this, and it's still just as painful to watch. It was not that painful for me, surprisingly. I got up smiling because it was actually a blast.
Well, you popped right back up like a champ. And here's what Walker had to say about it afterwards.
I was trying to get the 1st down, and I think I was like a yard short. And when he pushed me, when I glanced back to the right, it was too late. It was like a deer in the headlights, man. He was stuck. I thought he was hurt, so I just made sure he was all right. When he said he was good, I had to get back on the field.
I was just as shocked as Delanie was that I was not hurt. The only thing that broke was the pencil in my hand. That was it.
No harm done then.
That's right.
Shook it off and got a W. Nice effort. Thank you. More from Hutton coming up in a bit.